What is going on, ladies and gents? Welcome to Collectors Gone Digital. My name is Josh, and on today's episode, we're going to be recapping the Blackpink welcome space that happened on X, and that was hosted by Sanjay, also known as Mr. MC1. Now, this space was filled with excitement, so if you guys have not had a chance to listen to the full thing, I'm going to link it down below. I definitely recommend it. It's about 2 hours though, so if you guys don't have the time, today's video is dedicated to you. I've tried to recap all the key points for you guys, and on top of that, we're going to dive more into the actual band members in this episode. So without further ado, sit back, relax, and enjoy. All right, so first up, let's talk about the meaning behind Blackpink. Why did they choose this name? Now, apparently in South Korea, there's a popular saying that translates to pretty is everything. Apparently the meaning behind this band is the complete opposite. Pretty isn't everything. So they chose pink being a color that's commonly associated with girls, and then black being the complete opposite. And they pretty much went against the grain of what's been ingrained in South Korean culture with all the beauty standards. And I think somebody mentioned the plastic surgery and that type of stuff. Now, I posted our last episode, and about 15-20 minutes after it went live, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, hang on a sec. I covered the band, I covered, K-pop, I covered YG, but I never actually dove into the band members. But there are going to be 4 members of the band. We're going to start off with Kim here. She was actually born in Seoul, South Korea, trained under YG for 5 years before actually making her debut. And before all that happened, she actually appeared in several music videos and commercials as well. Now next up, we got Rose. Rose was born in Auckland, New Zealand, and she actually moved to Melbourne, Australia with her family at a young age. And by the way, guys, all 4 of these girls come from all over the place. K-pop does auditions from around the world. So these girls won their auditions. They were #1 from where they were selected from. And then that's how they started with the YG Entertainment Group. Speaking of YG, Rose trained under YG for 4 years before making her debut. Next up, we're going to have Jennie. And I just realized I spelled her name wrong. There's supposed to be an E at the end there. But she was also born in Seoul, South Korea. She actually spent much of her childhood in New Zealand though. She trained under YG for 6 years before making her debut. And when she did, she was actually the first member of Blackpink revealed to the public. And last but not least, we're saving the best for last here. We got 𝗘𝗍, that's right. David asked, who's your favorite Blackpink member? Guys, there's only one right answer here. If you say any other name other than 𝗘𝗍, you're wrong. You're just wrong. I'm sorry, you're wrong. David knows what I'm talking about. Anyways, 𝗘𝗍 was born in Bangkok, Thailand. She was actually a competitive dancer at a young age, successful as well. She's the only non-Korean member of Blackpink, and she trained under YG for 5 years before making her debut. She's also the best looking and most talented. Just saying. Just saying. That's a fact. That's a fact. Now, when it comes to some achievements made by the band, check this out. According to Mr. MC1, they're the most viewed channel on YouTube. Over 30.15 billion views. Now, I do want to clarify something. I do believe this is just in music, because I know like T-Series and Mr. Beast, they have more than that. So I believe that's for music YouTube channels. In 2023, they were the most streamed female group on Spotify, over 8.8 billion streams. They're apparently the most subscribed band on YouTube with over 60 million subscribers. They actually won the first Best Metaverse performance. So they're already involved in innovative marketing tactics here. And then speaking of being the first, they were also the first K-pop group to perform at Coachella. Now, what's interesting to note here is I got several comments on our last video talking about the success of BTS, the numbers that Blackpink are generating. And from what I understand, or what it sounds like, Blackpink is kind of approaching or almost surpassing BTS at this point, just because all members of BTS are currently serving in the military. So it's not like they're producing or making music right now anyways. But Blackpink is globally known, and we even had a little girl in this space who was the daughter of one of the mother speaking. She expressed how much she loves Blackpink. My Collectibles said how his daughter has Blackpink posters on her wall. This band is truly global, and they're only getting bigger right now. Now, when it comes to having music on VeVe, David talks about being a huge believer in talent and always preaching what he loves. He says he's focused on introducing diversity to the platform. So we just had the Evermind comic drop, which also introduced a new publisher to the platform. Now VeVe's stepping their feet into K-pop. They also dropped more raw English music. I mean, going back to when I first started on the platform, the best brands that were available on VeVe were Ghostbusters, Back to the Future. We had DC with the Batman Black and White. I think we had one of the CoverGirl series. And those are the main ones that come to mind. If you click on the brands tab on VeVe now, oh my lord, you're seeing Marvel, you're seeing Disney, you're seeing 20th Century, you're seeing different types of artists, artists that produce art, artists that produce music, all the way to signed boxing gloves. So I definitely say they're ticking that box off. David says that music has been a key focus for him. And this hasn't been like a recent thing. This has been years in the making. And BLACKPINK is one of his ways for VeVe to reach global audiences. Now, how exactly did David find out about K-pop? And funny enough, he actually found out about it when he was in the West. So he was at a music award show in Las Vegas, and BTS was performing on stage. While they were performing, David's looking at people in the crowd and seeing people react in ways he's never seen before. So it made him realize how special K-pop was in that moment. Keeping in mind, he knew nothing about BTS. Now, in terms of how the deal unfolded, David said a key part is how you earn the respect of the company behind the bands. So in this case, YG Entertainment we're talking about. David said his close friend Justin actually helped him spearhead the deal. And spearhead is David's words. He said Justin helped spearhead the deal to take certain things off the plate. So to me, what it sounds like is if they didn't have Justin on board, there would have been certain roadblocks or obstacles that they would have had to push through that Justin helped them overcome. Now, Justin is one of David's lifelong friends. He's actually one of David's first ever customers. He would walk into his store and buy Pokemon cards when he was about 7 or 8 every day after school. Now, years have gone by, of course, and they eventually began talking about how they could bring Korean pop culture to VeVe. So David says, and I quote, "Lots more to come. K-pop is only one sector. So VeVe is going to bring new artists, groups, and different types of products." So why K-pop and why YG? And in David's words, the market is huge. So he says that there's certain things that people in the East can't get their hands on from the West, and then vice versa. People in the West can't get their hands on certain things from the East. And VeVe essentially wants to be this medium. So the K-pop deal they just announced has been 2 years in the making. They actually flew to South Korea several times to try and make this happen. And then this is when David kind of starts talking about how top of the line their facilities are. So just the buildings, but then also their training regimens and how they kind of teach the artists how to become the stars. He said he actually got to stop by while the artists were there. Now, speaking about how this partnership took 2 years in the making, David starts talking about his day-to-day and what his actual job is, which is thinking 12 to 18 months in advance. So he says BLACKPINK has been a secret for a while now, and it's been really hard for him to keep it a secret. I mean, many of us know David by now. They're also working on potential partnerships with other K-pop groups, which is amazing to hear. David felt now was a great time to release an IP that caters to mainstream audiences, and this is also to fall in line with VeVe's 2.0 plans. So David says that there's two main sides to VeVe's second stage here. You have the revised website, layouts, that type of stuff, and then you have the education side. So making sure that people are aware that they're carbon neutral and things like how to sign up. He said that through his experience running retail shops, he's experienced all the waste associated with packaging and things like that, and educating people on how the digital side provides a solution for that. Now, when it comes to the actual collectible drop, David does give us a little hint in terms of what we can expect. And from what it sounds like, they are going to be animated. They are going to play music. And in his words, he said you can put them all together to have them perform the concert to you. The last point I want to talk about here has to do with marketing. And there was an interesting point he said at the end here. David says that actual marketing, those were his words, starts next week. He says that VeVe is going to be unveiling what's to come and that this is going to be part of a new first ever series coming to VeVe. So I have no idea what actual marketing entails here. I mean, the BLACKPINK announcement was fantastic marketing for the platform. We obviously saw new users come in. The amount of MCP points you need to reach master rank has actually gone down now. and that has to do with the new users coming in. We've had some Facebook ads running. We've had some YouTube ads running. It's going to be really interesting to see what actual marketing entails. So could it be influencer marketing? Could we have some big names putting out some big posts? I don't know. But when David made comments about how, oh, we felt now was a good time to release a large IP that catered to global audiences, the way he made that sound was like, we have a dozen others in the pipeline that we can just release today. We're releasing these names strategically to fall in line with certain times. He didn't actually say that, but that was the vibes that I was getting. So nothing but great news for VeVe, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how this drop goes. And by the way, that free collectible, guys, if you haven't submitted which color, black or pink, via the email you should have gotten from VeVe, make sure to do so, because you're going to get a free collectible for just clicking one of the two colors. So if you guys are new to the platform, welcome. If you guys aren't but haven't claimed the collectible, choose either black or pink, submit, and you get yourself a free piece. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude today's episode. I hope you enjoyed. That's a recap of the BLACKPINK welcome space that happened over on X and was hosted by Sanjay, also known as Mr. MC1. We now have VeVe moving into K-pop, more importantly, in my opinion, the Asian market. And now I got my fingers crossed for esports. So come on, let's make it happen. But if you guys enjoy the content, make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what you want to see in a future episode. And as for next, I'll catch you then.